Today we're here to celebrate the life of Gary Carman Bill. Many of you that are here today are friends and have known Gary either for a lifetime or just a few years. Jean, whom he was married to for 40 years, who walked and stood beside him faithfully, taking care of him day and night through his sickness, illness, when he was diagnosed. Jean, Mary and I love you and are thankful for you each and every day. So today we celebrate his life not just as a husband, a dad, or a father-in-law. Today we celebrate Gary the only way that as his son that I know how to. Today you're going to get to see a side of Gary maybe that you never seen before, and you're going to hear some stories and you're going to see some video and pictures of who this man was to so many. Today you may laugh a little bit and you may cry. So today I want to encourage you to sit back and enjoy the time that we have today. When my father asked me to do his service when he passed, I considered it not only humbling, but truly an honor and a privilege that he was my father for the 60 years that I had him. So today I want to share with you, as family and friends that are here, about my father, Gary Carman Bill. You'll see through this first segment, and here's Gary. Gary Carman Bill was born on September 28, 1939 in Cleveland, Ohio, to the late Carman and Helen Antonelli Bill. Gary passed away on April 8, 2026, with his family by his side at his home in Painesville Township. Now you'll get to see Gary the athlete. He was a proud graduate of Euclid High School in 1957. Gary not only excelled in academics, but also excelled in the athletic arena. Since the early 1950s, Gary was involved with baseball, wrestling, swimming, and golf. You could never find a sport that Gary never loved. In 1955, he was the Cleveland Junior Golf State Qualifier. In 1956, he was the Cleveland District High School Golf Champion. In 1957, he was the Lake Erie League High School Swim Team. In 1957, he was also the Euclid JC State Qualify winner. In 1957, he was the Cleveland District High School Golf Champion. And also in 1957, he was the Lake Erie League High School Golf Champ. These are just a few accolades that we share with you. Maybe some of you knew what they were, but maybe today you didn't. But in the sports arena, this is who Gary was. After all of his high school sports accomplishments in golf at Euclid High School, Gary was inducted into the Euclid Sports Hall of Fame in 2000. After high school, Gary continued his education at Ohio University, where he continued to indulge his love for sports as a member of the Ohio University Metro Athletic Club. Gary studied physical education, where his passion for sports and commitment to excellence continued to persist throughout his life. Dad, thank you for your service. From 1960 to 1968, Sergeant Gary Bill served the country faithfully in the United States Marine Corps. He was in the 3rd Battalion, 4th Marine Division. He was a rifle expert and a rifle sharpshooter, a role that he held in high regard throughout his life. He served his country faithfully for many years. Now, here comes the teacher and the coach. Upon completing his service in the Marine Corps, he transitioned his love for sports and discipline into a fruitful career with the Cleveland Public Schools and later at Beaumont School as a physical education teacher and coach. In 1975, Gary was recognized as the National Education Association Physical Education Teacher Finalist of the Year Award in America. He was also inducted into the Beaumont Athletic Hall of Fame for coaching in 2018. For 40 years, Gary inspired countless young minds as a physical education teacher and coach. His tireless devotion to students emanated beyond the classroom and playing field, leaving a legacy that lasted well beyond his retirement in 2000. And as Frank Sinatra would say, let the record show, I did it my way. Gary and Jean left Ohio after retiring in 2000 from a career of teaching and coaching and moved to the Villages in Florida. Gary readily embraced the community's vibrant lifestyle. Do you believe what you're seeing right now by playing softball into his 60s and beyond? And yes, as we mentioned earlier in this video, he was on the swim team. And look at this picture with him in his swimming career. They enjoyed taking cruises with their friends, hanging out with college buddies from Ohio University Metro Athletic Club, planning what that he was so good at. When they were down in Florida, they gathered a group of people and played goofy golf games with their friends. And yes, he's still killing it on the golf course all those years later with 5 hole-in-ones, shooting into the 70s and sometimes the low 80s as he got a little bit older. But it didn't stop there. As his buddy Paul Hassett and him, they created a golf invention called the Club Finder, but it never went to market. After being down in the Villages for a while, the Daily Sun newspaper wrote a feature story about Gary and his father, Carmen Bill, who was an accomplished PGA professional golfer. Gary and Jean and their friends actively participated in clubs and a lot of golf. And an outdoor enthusiast at heart, Gary reaffirmed his lifelong passion for golf with such accomplishments that were legendary, including memorable golf matches against titans like Jack Nicklaus and Tom Weiskopf while in high school, solidifying his status as an accomplished golfer throughout the state of Ohio. Gary's zest for life was confined to the golf course. It wasn't just there that he excelled. He was also an avid card player, bowler, and swimmer as he did in college. Gary will be truly missed, and most of all by his wife, Jean, by me, his son, David, and my wife, Mary, along with many that are here today that called him friend. Dad, one final thing I want to say to you. Thank you. I am who I am because of you. I love you, Pops. Oh, and by the way, you left too early before we could fill this frame. Dad will miss you. God bless.
The frame.
The frame was, the running thing was all the years that my dad, if I ever beat my dad in golf, we would put the scorecard in this frame. I beat him in 9 holes.
Mm-hmm.
But when I first beat him in 9 holes, he said, don't count. You got to do 18. And so I said, okay. And the closest I ever came was about 2 strokes.